Okay, so today we're covering Introduction to Business Intelligence, which is Chapter 1 of the Business Intelligence Managerial Approach book, which you should already have the book by now. And the learning objectives for this chapter are basically understanding the turbulent business environment, describe how organizations survive and excel in that environment, need for computerized support in managerial decision making, and describe business intelligence and how to relate them to decision support systems, and then issues implementing business intelligence. Okay. All right, so the chapter goes into Norfolk Southern and how it uses BI decision support to reach success. Basically, it's one of 4 large railroad companies. There's a changing competitive environment. So basically what they have to do is they have to analyze data in order to save time and improve efficiency. And what it says was the results from that is the misconnections went down by 60%. And then employees were more satisfied based on new locations of field offices. And if you want to know a little bit more about that, you can read the case. But it's basically an example of how business intelligence improved operations. So what is business intelligence? Business intelligence refers to the use of computers to analyze complex information and basically analyze information about both the organization and its competitors for use in business planning and decision making. The objective is to enable easy access to data to provide business managers with the ability to conduct that analysis. Because it used to be that the data was stored in databases that would have to be accessed, and it would take the systems forever to go through that data. So it was reorganized in a way that through the business intelligence software you can analyze it much more quickly, and it basically is developed to be able to be analyzed. As before it was just developed to be stored. Now, business intelligence helps to transform data into information. So in MISY 4310, you should have learned that data is basically your basic builder to your information. It's your source. It's your numbers, your basic information. But technically, according to the book's definitions, information is more where you actually analyze the data. And then you gain knowledge from that information through analysis. And then finally it leads to action. So just basically remember, business intelligence is the analysis of data using computers and software. So basically the evolution of BI over time, make this a little bigger, has shown different abilities that have been added to the software. A lot of this we'll go over in subsequent chapters. Some of this we'll go over in this chapter, like online analytical processing, OLAP, decision support systems, data marts, metadata, which tells you information about the data. Spreadsheets were one of the original information analysis tools. Now there's financial reporting, dashboards, scorecards. So a lot of this you'll learn as you go along, but this is an overview of what business intelligence includes. Okay, let me zoom out again. Architecture of business intelligence. So basically there's 4 major components within the business intelligence system. There's a data warehouse, which is your source data. That's where your data is stored. There's business analytics, which is a collection of tools for manipulating, mining, and analyzing the data. And then your business performance management, monitoring and analyzing, and then the interface you actually access the data with. Okay, so a data warehouse is a database used for reporting and data analysis. Originally, they only included historical data, and now they actually include more up-to-date and current information, sometimes even in real time. And we'll learn more about that in Chapter 2. Okay, business analytics, they help transform data into knowledge. queries, text mining tools. So basically, data mining is the search for unknown relationships in large databases using intelligent tools, advanced statistical methods. You may have done something like this in business analysis, but it's basically you're looking for relationships within the data. And like I said, we'll go into that more later on. And going a little too far. Okay. Business performance management. It's also referred to as corporate performance management. Basically, it's a portfolio of applications, provide tools for enterprises to better manage their operations. So basically, it has the analytical tools built in. And then the interface is actually how you, again, view the data. So you'll have like a dashboard. You want an example of a dashboard, that home screen in Blackboard that you see where it has all the little boxes. That's a dashboard. YouTube in the video manager has a dashboard. It's basically you have different areas that provide you with different information based on your needs. Okay. Losing my place here, sorry about that. All right, so styles of business intelligence. MicroStrategy Corp distinguishes 5 styles. So you have reporting, delivery, and alerting. You have enterprise reporting and cube analysis, which you'll see in the OLAP slides, ad hoc queries, and then statistics and data mining. Okay, so that'll be on page 12 if you want to review that some more. It doesn't really go into a whole lot because it kind of goes into it more in chapter 2. But just know, like it says here, these are dashboards and scorecards. It's a slice and dice analysis, and then reports. You've seen reports, and then queries. You may have done queries before, and we will do some queries in this course. Okay, so the benefits of business intelligence. It provides accurate information when it's needed and in a real-time view, if needed. A survey done, if I can get the full name for you, just says Thompson. Basically what they surveyed and found out was these were how it improves the business. So basically the biggest improvement is accurate reporting, but then there's also improved decision making, improved customer service, and increased revenue, which this could be skewed because sometimes you don't see benefits right away. You see them more in the long term. Okay, so there is a table on page 13 which will give you a view of some of the analytical applications, the business questions they answer, and the business value they bring. For example, there is the customer profitability. What is the lifetime profitability of my customers? The business question. And then make individual business interaction decisions based on the overall profitability of customers. So basically, it allows you to see who your most profitable customers are and be able to target them. So if you want to review that some more, that's on page 13. Okay. Now, I'm just going to give you an overview of this because it applies to the next slide. Sorry. Automated decision systems. They're basically rule-based systems that provide a solution to a repetitive managerial problem. Like a simple loan approval system, like where you can go in, apply for a loan, and it'll approve you on the spot. You don't have to go and talk to anyone. If they need more information, it'll pop back and say you need to speak to a representative. It's basically highly structured decisions that don't need a lot of on-the-minute decisions, so they don't need someone to look at it. And if they do, sometimes, like I said before, they can have you come in if they need you to. Okay. That leads us to event-driven alerts. They are a type of ADS, automated decision system. Basically what they are is like a credit card company. Maybe someone's used your card in China, you didn't authorize it, it'll come with an error. Maybe, like it says there, identify possible fraud. So somebody's maybe bought $1,000 worth of electronics. You don't usually spend that much at one time, things like that. And you may have decided on those alerts yourself. Maybe it asked you what balance you should get a warning at, or what purchase amount you should get a warning, and those are built into that system. Okay, so some transaction processing versus analytic processing, and sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied today. So basically, traditionally databases operated in transactions. You know, you purchase something, it populates the database. And there were problems with that because that's more operationally based. You know, it's good for knowing day to day. When they went back and tried to do reports, they just would hit a wall. There was just things, you know, you might have compatibility between tables, you might have repeat data. Maybe the way the data is grabbed isn't, you know, efficient, so it can take a long time. There's a lot of things that went into that. So essentially that was online transactional processing. Basically, data entry, retrieval, transaction processing. And let's see if I have that written down. So basically that leads to online analytical processing. So it started with online transactional processing, basically just processing transactions online. They could even be done in a store where they're, you know, processed online, they're stored online. But that led to the development of online analytical processing, which essentially is designed to be online, and it was reorganized instruction in a way that it was fast, efficient, and it provided a fast and efficient process for querying, analysis, and decision support. So what that means is basically where I said before that they had to redesign the databases a bit to support analysis. That's what online and analytical processing comes in, OLAP. It enables the user to query the system on their computer to conduct analysis. They don't have to go and plug a laptop into the database and try and scan the data. They don't have to wait for a server to access the database. They can just get on their computer and access it. It says they use a multidimensional data model, so you can get complex analytics and ad hoc queries in a rapid time. And we'll discuss that later as well. And again, the main goal is effectiveness. So just try to understand the difference between these two. Now the other slides I mentioned were the introduction to online analytical processing. Basically, this is the main part you want to get from this long paragraph, but it's basically a category of software technology that enables analyst managers and executives to gain insight into data through fast, consistent, interactive access to a wide variety of possible views of information. It has been transformed from raw data to reflect the real dimensionality of the enterprise. So basically, you gain insight into data through interactive access to a wide variety of possible views. Basically, you're accessing data in a lot of different ways. Like you may have a dashboard, maybe you've got a chart and graph, maybe you've got a table where it's sorting things based on what you want to see, you know, different ways of viewing the information. Now, kinds of OLAP are ROLAP, relational OLAP using relational databases, star schema. And you can read some of this if you want some more information on those. It's got some good information down here. And then MOLAP, DOLAP, and then there's other variations. We may not go into these really, but it's good to know what they are in case you do see them. This is the desktop version, and it's a multi-dimensional version. So they're just different versions, basically. So let's see. Here's an example. There's an automobile marketer who wants to improve his business activity. Therefore, he wants to view sales figures from a different perspective. So he wants to view the model, which dealership it came from, what color it was, and what the sales amount was over time. And then, now if you had to do this by hand, it would take a long time. Using a software program, it really cuts down on the time. Now this kind of model I've never been a fan of, but it kind of, they want to give a 3D view to the information. Essentially the way you look at it is you can't just go model, what color is it? They also want to know sales volume over time, and they want to know what dealership it was from. But when you go into a table, you're probably going to see more something like product over here, color, dealership, sales volume. So you'll have like a table to view. This is just kind of a three-dimensional. Some students like this a little better, but that's that cube model I was telling you about before. Measurement of dimensions. And then this is where you can pull out a specific piece. So basically, you can go into, like, say, your table, and you can tell it you want a specific bit of information, and it'll only show you that. And then different users will require different views. So that's telling you that basically you want an analysis where you can go in and change it to see what you want to see based on the information you need. And like I said, there's text down here if you want to read through this. Okay, let's go back to our other PowerPoint. Okay, so there's just some slides on successfully implementing a business analysis system. Basically, it's expensive and risky, so you want to make sure that you're covering all your bases before you actually implement. It's measured by its widespread usage for better decision making. Typical BI user communities include all levels. It used to be just executive information systems were for top management. Now it could be any level. You could have the plant manager that needs to use it. So you basically need to provide what is needed, to whom it is needed, when it is needed. So it should benefit the enterprise as a whole. It needs to be aligned with the company's business strategies. It shouldn't be just a technical exercise for IT. Changes the way business conducts its operations. Improving business processes, transforming decision making. And it should not be an impediment to the business strategy. All right, so business tools. That is on page 21. There's a table on page 22. And that's where a lot of this comes from: database management systems, extraction, transformation, and load systems, data warehouses, data marts, have to do with data management. Data management will be in chapter 2. Reporting, visualization, and strategy, performance management will be in chapter 3. Business analytics will be chapters 4 and 5, and these will be chapters 6. We won't actually go into those, but you can read through the chapter if you like. You can just go over these in the table for now to see what's included, but we'll get into them more in depth in later chapters. Vendors of business intelligence have been changing. Companies buy out each other, they merge, they form partnerships. IBM acquired Cognos. They were a business intelligence software company. It also acquired SPSS. Oracle bought Hyperion. SAP bought Business Objects, which, SAP Business Objects. MicroStrategy is one of the only independent large BI vendors. And then there's others. Teradata we're actually going to use in this class. And then here's some examples of BI resources if you want to look through these. Maybe you can get some information on OLAP here. Business Intelligence Network. The one we're going to use, though, is Teradata. And you'll do that in an assignment. Okay, well, that's an overview for chapter 1. And if you have any questions, be sure to review the study guide. You can find the study guide in the chapter area. Let's see if I can show it to you here. There'll be study guides for each chapter. Just be sure to review them while reviewing the book. You see here, it'll tell you the page numbers and what you need to get from the chapter. All right, and that's it for chapter 1.